ValveTime.net.
Hi, and welcome to a special episode of ValveTime Top 5. With the 4th annual Saxxy Awards wrapping up just the other week, we thought it was a pretty good time to take a look at some of our favorite videos from this year's competition. Our list isn't going to cover the top 5 videos we believe should have won the 2014 Saxxy Awards, they're just 5 that we believe were interesting or important enough to talk about for a short while. We mentioned this was a special episode because, unlike all of our other top 5 lists, this particular episode won't actually feature a structured ranking, meaning just because a video appears higher or lower on the list than another doesn't necessarily mean we like it more or less than the other. It's just a list of some of our favorites. Remember, it would take a seriously long time for us to find and watch every single video submitted to the contest, so don't take offense if your own submission or favorite video isn't included for whatever reason. It should be noted this script was organized and written before the winners of each category were announced, meaning we've only made slight adjustments to our script since then to reflect whether or not a particular video won or not. Now, to prove our ranking system is balanced for this episode, we're going to describe my words from 1 to 5, just because we can. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Number 1. As one of the first Saxxy videos we saw this year, the Jewel Escapade by Kaligos Yavolatak set a pretty good example of the kind of quality we could expect from many of this year's entries. The 5-minute video sets up a museum heist and uses a series of action sequences, slapstick humor, and brilliant animation to create a highly entertaining and well-crafted video. We thought the video reached its peak by having the Heavy fight the Scout with the Earth Spirit's quarterstaff, but it definitely doesn't get much better than having half of Team Fortress 2's playable classes run through the battlefields of Dota while being chased by Roshan. It's not only well made, but it also perfectly represents one of the core ideas Valve were trying to push for this year's Saxxys: crossovers and involvement from intellectual property other than just Team Fortress 2, and it's definitely worth checking out. Just be sure to keep your eyes peeled for all the various Dota 2 items, statues, characters, and couriers hidden throughout the museum. Number 2. This trend of building on other intellectual properties continues with our number 2 choice, Defuse on the Fly by Deviant Pictures Films, which you've probably seen highlighted by a news outlet such as PC Gamer, takes what would appear to be a standard round of Counter-Strike Global Offensive and applies an appropriately ridiculous premise which is as hilarious as it is well executed. Instead of having to simply plant or defuse the bomb, the terrorists and counter-terrorists have to face off against each other as they attempt to catch a troublesome chicken after it makes off with the explosives. It's absurd and funny on a level which is not often associated with a competitive shooter as serious as Counter-Strike, but we're damn glad to have found it. Number 3. While most Saxxy entries focus on action or comedy sequences taking place within a game's fictional universe, there are a few that appear a little more meta than that. Animation vs. Animator by Verhod relies heavily on the same concept many of us will remember from the extremely old Flash animated series of the same name, only this time with a more modern source filmmaker twist. While creating his own video, the Scout is surprised to find the Heavy is able to resist his attempts at animation, starting a war as both parties vie for control of the situation. It's short, sweet, and like all of the other entries on this list, is extremely well animated, which is pretty fitting for a film about the SFM itself. Let's just say it's certainly no surprise Valve decided to give the best overall prize to this one. It's something we've never really seen attempted in the SFM before, and the result of Verhod's work is extremely entertaining, and we're definitely hoping his win will inspire Verhod to continue to make creative, high-quality videos in the future. Number 4. Like our number 1 and number 2 entries, Tidehunter's Tactics by Palingency relies on a largely untapped SFM intellectual property, this time focusing entirely on Dota 2. Instead of just playing out some kind of epic yet generic fight scene between various Dota heroes, the video takes a rather comedic look at one of the game's well-known and best-loved rivalries, that of Kunkka and Tidehunter. Letting his anger get the best of him, Tidehunter continues to mindlessly hunt Kunkka regardless of how much more skilled, prepared, and farmed he is, leaving poor bounty hunter Juggernaut and Sven seated on the sidelines to witness his almost pathetic attempts. To anyone who has played even a few matches of Dota 2, the scenarios depicted in the video are not only funny, but also extremely relatable. While some of our audience may dismiss this one based entirely on the fact that it's all about Dota 2, it would be foolish to ignore some of the best animation and funniest moments on this entire list. It's safe to say we're definitely open to more of this kind of content for future Saxxy competitions, and we're pretty surprised it was beaten by About a Scout as winner of the Best Comedy Award. Number 5. We've had a lot of different games on this list, but we're going to once again focus entirely on Team Fortress 2 for our last choice. In Ride of the Balloonicorn by Emperor Phase, it's up to the Pyro and his loyal magical Balloonicorn to come to the rescue of the engineer and his team from the metal grip of Gray Man's robot horde. After easily doing away with numerous normal robots, the pair must use their magic abilities to take on a far more advanced giant robot bent on their destruction. As you can probably guess, it's an extremely cute premise, which is just as adorable as it sounds, yet the video somehow manages to contain some of the best action sequences we've seen in this year's competition, so don't mess with the Balloonicorn. It's not quite the most polished video on our list, but some great presentation, really impressive particle effect work, and a number of neat touches definitely make it one to check out, despite the rather obvious, yet still funny, plot twist. Now, we usually try and stay away from honorable mentions in our top 5 list, but we found far too many good videos this time around to limit the pickings to just 5. We feel it would have been a crime for us to not even briefly mention a few more of the entries that stood out to us, so here we go. Rivalry Rush feels right at home in the TF2 universe and features a fun concept, near flawless animation, and even a ton of really accurate custom voice acting. Goliatron by Salade Authon offers highly stylized, large-scale action sequences highly reminiscent of Zachariah Scott's Big Trouble in Rumble City from the 2012 Saxxy Awards. The C4 Courier by Penguins Fishing follows a similar premise to Defuse on the Fly and features a humorous, weird, and highly entertaining chase as a CT attempts to return an armed bomb to its terrorist owner, who apparently dropped it. The minute-long Man-Co Cup Classic by Vet focuses on the TF2 classes doing their best to try and win what is likely the most unfair race in history, and it honestly feels a hell of a lot like watching an episode of Wacky Races on some kind of illegal substance. Speaking of illegal substances, yet another asinine Saxxy video, also referred to as Some Guy Challenged Me to Make a Saxxy Entry with 1 Day Left to the Deadline by Ificanation Erafee, was clearly on a tight budget of time. It is by far the dumbest and most ridiculous video we've seen submitted to this year's contest, and it might feel like an absurd Garry's Mod parody from about 6 months ago, but we love its stupidity and weird animation style just as much as anything else we've talked about today for some reason. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this special episode of ValveTime Top 5. This is absolutely by no means a conclusive list, so we recommend you head off and search for the rest of the Saxxy 2014 winners, nominees, and entries on your own. You seriously won't be disappointed with how many ridiculously high-quality videos were submitted this year. If you enjoyed this new one-off balanced episode formula, be sure to let us know in the comments below, as we'll be sure to try and apply it to future topics, such as next year's Saxxy Awards. Feel free to also leave suggestions for future top 5 episode topics, as you never know, we might just like your idea and use it as inspiration sometime down the road. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and to join the conversation over on the ValveTime.net community forums. If you enjoy our content, be sure to share our videos with your friends and to check out previous episodes of Top 5. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.